pretty wonderful thing that's going on that I know not much about. It's that Massachusetts Broadband Institute, and so she sent out the notice congratulating, like, can speak for them. Wasn't sure, but then she said she'll do it. I was like, let her come next. But it's a full trip. But not everyone's gonna be this. We'll be speaking. Sarah's definitely good. Derek's gonna be a little late, but he'll be there. So if we can't get to him, we'll put it back in there. And not everybody speaks the whole thing.
How long, what do you want me to speak a little bit?
3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes.
Whatever. I got the little timer.
That's
here.
all yeah, no more than that.
You've done some memos that are pretty, you told folks here what's going on next. Same thing.
Yeah.
You're good at that,
Yeah.
so. Introduce you and all that kind of stuff. It's me I have to be careful of, because, you know, you stood next to me. Holding place. Damn gentle stuff, and then sitting next to her, she's like, right. It's almost like we have Tourette's of sorts. We said each other. She's worked out all day. She volunteered, but she will insist to have a little and. Everything after me. And then the gentleman, you want to play with all these things. It's just different. In the South, it's like, don't touch nothing. Well, she, there I am.
I'm gonna have to sit in the corner.
Please.
Oh, look at him. It's right.
I do. So. Remember the last Martin Luther King thing we had? You put that little doll there and it kept getting in the pictures. I was so,
If I sent
Heidi, I swear.
yeah, but we sent it and he looks like he's sitting in the chair. Already started.
Good job.
Oh my God. And then she's sick.
Would that be me?
It's like just roll up a chair.
Yeah. Roll up a chair. So you need to roll them up. We got plenty.
I'm gonna run to the
I don't know where this is downstairs.
I do not need to be on camera for this. I hope it's going in some other direction. Hi, Ronnie.
Well, you're beautiful. If you don't want to get on camera, you can come over there.
I figure I'm cool over here. So. Yeah, I'm good over here too. Look. Is it?
Oh,
What's downstairs?
I don't know. It's classroom.
Kindergarten. Right?
There's a kindergarten here downstairs with the playground, and then there are other classrooms.
Well, they usually come here Black History Month and read. So they, you know, they're like upstairs, downstairs, all around. So. We got 3 minutes.
It was a sweet little story.
Still is.
I mean, still is, yeah. But I mean, when
Oh, good. So Renika and Robbie are both coming to talk.
I got a statement. Unless one of them.
Okay.
Leave your mother there, so I can take it.
I'll put it close by, but just down here.
Hello, sister. Please, you can. So everyone just come in. Thank you. Give the pin notes. Write it down.
Okay, let's do pending. What am I writing? Okay.
Thank you. What do you got? Our friends. All my friends. So. We'll be happy. We're about to start soon. Okay. There'll be other people coming in and out, but.
So it's
Yeah, well, it's, I'm trying to. I know, it seems just like her, I was like. So, and so then I say, woman, this now.
Answer this thing.
Yeah. Not quite like. Hey, Fred.
How you doing?
Yes, I think that's good, Jerry. Thanks. That's just me.
I got another association meeting to start.
Airplane?
Something like that.
All right.
You know.
Hey, Fred, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Can you try talking again to us, Fred?
Let me see what's going on here.
All right, give me 1 second. Get some audio things figured out. All right, want to try us one more time, Fred?
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh,
She was watching Resident Alien. She was watching Resident Alien.
I'm rejoining now.
Cross.
Hello?
You're a teacher.
oh, thank you. All right. Great.
Hello,
Can you hear me?
this is Tuesday.
We can give me 1 second. Can we hear Fred? Let's see.
Can you hear me?
Where is it?
Let me try something here. Speakers. Is that the speaker? Sing us a song, Fred, or something. We're just testing the audio out.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
Yeah.
birthday to you. The caption is picking it up.
Yeah, we hear you there. Why did I hear you so much better before?
You can't hear me?
We can hear you. And you try.
Turn up.
Drop it.
They're out of my room.
Jim? Yeah, Jimmy.
Jim
Jim
did
is
say he
in
was
me.
available.
Like everything is the computer, like.
It's always. And Ronnie's always trying to figure it out.
Erica's gonna call in. We have Patty who's here, we have Laura who's here, and we have a statement. You read that statement from Robbie. I'll talk to you. So did you? You know, I'll start reading it. I'll start reading.
Is it this?
No, you got somebody read that. She says. Just.
When you're ready to talk, Fred, we will listen carefully.
Can you hear me speaking now?
Pretty good. And there's something. Is Kathleen calling? Are we able to hear you? It's just. Well, we can, I mean. I wonder,
Everything is very quiet all of a sudden.
can you hear us, Fred?
I can hear you now.
All right, and Jada, you want to announce something or say something and see if he can hear you?
Fred, can you hear me
Very poorly.
All right, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll dial this in and then we'll be all good. This mic was working. I tested this with Emily just a little bit ago and it was amazing. So something. No, I just unplugged. It's not that part. Not that. Yeah. 661-553-00.
Followed by the pound key.
574-906-5.
Beautiful accent. Oh, that's the.
All right, now can you hear us, Fred?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna turn this mic off.
And can you put that in the middle of the table for us?
From other people. Oh, there's Renika. Becky. Oh, I thought you were like calling my name.
Welcome, everybody. Online, a couple of tech things set up.
It's in the blinking page. Oh,
Okay. All right.
Right.
So, someone grab that for me. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Renika, can you hear me?
Fred, no.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, we got Renika.
I'm gonna start this because we got a whole audience and group of people in the back. We have our bleachers in the back. I just want to say welcome, everybody. This is our January Ward 3 Neighborhood Association meeting. And we're gonna start off with our board members that are here. If you could just do a quick intro, starting with you, Ronnie, the technician man.
All right. My name is Ronnie Gold and I am the Ward 3 treasurer.
Fred, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Fred Zimnock. I live on Pomeroy Terrace. I'm a director and I guess I've been a member for 10 or so years. And I live in the historic district, the Pomeroy Terrace Historic District. And I'm glad to be here tonight to talk to everyone.
Glad to hear you. I hope everybody can hear Roy,
Here,
hear Roy.
who else we got?
We got Emily.
I'm here. I'm Kelsey Flynn. I'm a board member. I live on Edward Square.
And then I am Joella Tarbutton hyphen Springfield. They call me Jada, and I'm president for now. All right, guys, thank you. All right, guys, this introduction, we'll be here all night if we introduce everyone else. So guys, we'll get to know you. You can say your name when you speak. Right now, we have this thing that we do. It's called the norms and guidelines, and I've urged a person to come and read it, please. And here are copies of it for those.
Okay, the Ward 3 Neighborhood Association norms. 1, in order to begin and end on time, we will have a clear agenda for our meetings and stay on topic. 2, we will attempt to discuss topics of relevance to everyone and reserve topics with a narrow focus for subcommittees or another time. 3, we will show respect for each other by allowing one person to speak at a time and avoid side conversations and interrupting others. 4, if we have an elephant to discuss, a sensitive issue, we will attempt to provide advance notice or allot enough time in the agenda to address it effectively. 5, we will invoke the parking lot rule for topics that become too big and need to be tackled at a later time or by a subcommittee. 6, we will show respect and courtesy by listening to others, choosing our words carefully, and trusting that all present come with good intentions. As a result, at times we will agree to disagree. 7, we recognize fostering a positive group dynamic is vital to sustaining our group. We understand that well-timed humor can be an effective way to ease tension or fears and refocus the group. The end.
Great. All right, thank you. Right now, we have a time, we have public comments and announcements. Anybody here have something that you want to announce?
Or anybody online with public comment or announcement?
Thank you for that. Well, I have one. Well, actually, maybe Patricia Healy and I have one. Hopefully, everything goes through. I'll know more tomorrow, but we are planning at the Walter Savo House, our second Martin Luther King celebration. And it's gonna be a soul food fest if we get the money from housing. And it's gonna be great. This guy, if you ever loved Big Wayne,
We love Wayne.
you're gonna love his cooking. Southern Roots. He cooked New Year's Eve at the Recovery Center. And he cooked with the Juneteenth Jubilee, and this great person was there. And so he's wonderful. So I would like for you guys to be there. It's gonna be from noon to 3. So please come at noon if you can. And we are giving out certificates of appreciation. I could tear out thinking about for all the people who've been pretty wonderful. So I want everyone, if you can, we really appreciate that. So hopefully, Northampton Housing is working with us very well on that. We'll get all the flyers and everything up. So that's how things are sometimes. Not last minute, but, and again, some people are gonna give the great cake that we had. Well, this Northampton neighbors sponsored it last year and wonderful stuff. So it's a really good gathering. So anyway, everybody here's welcome. Okay, oh, that was it. Soul Food Feast.
And we have something from Lisa online.
Lisa Morales?
Yes.
Hi, Jada. Lisa Morales. I'm the Cahill Tenant Association Secretary. We hadn't heard anything about this. Is Cahill invited and when is it? And
Oh, at that thing here, yes, most definitely. We haven't got everything official. We've just got in the air begging for the proceeds to pay for it, and you definitely will get it. Send it to the LTO, most definitely. So we'd love to see you there. We're having it different times because we have some people with the area that we're in. We have a little fire code people or so many people. So that's why we're doing it in transition. So it's going to be from noon to 3, and you're always welcome.
All right.
All right, we're gonna go with we're gonna have to scream here, but we're gonna go through the MCC update. Thank you.
Yep. And just for folks who got the agenda emailed to them, there was a initial thing that was on there. We didn't get confirmation, so we took it off, but we have Lindsay Sabadosa joining us at around 7:45 for an announcement. It wasn't on the original agenda that was sent out, but just so you all know, but after we have, and for folks who are waiting to see when they're talking, we got Fred doing the MCC3 update. I will do a 30-second treasurer update. We have the LTOs presenting, and then city council update, city councilor update, and then we have remarks from elected officials who are here, and some sent in writing, and some are on Zoom, and some are physically here, so we'll do those. Special announcement from Patty Healy, and then we have Lindsay Sabadosa, and hopefully for 8 o'clock, we'll have Sarah Lennox, our guest speaker. I mean, sorry, she is here. I mean, hopefully at 8. Hopefully hopefully we'll keep to the time. I know you were here, but yeah, we'll keep to the time. Great. Great. That's,
So, Fred, let's screen.
Yeah, can you hear me?
you can, and feel free to talk real loud.
Okay, can you hear me now?
What MCCC stands for.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, MCCC stands for Meadow City Conservation Coalition. We're a group that holds conservation restrictions on city property. A lot of it is near the meadows, particularly near the Cutchin School, and also the Montview Park property, which is near Cutchins. We also hold a conservation restriction on Sheldon Field. Sheldon Field was given to us by the Sheldon family, who bought the property from the Indians when they first came here. We had an annual meeting, and we reviewed a lot of the effort that was made last year. I won't go through all of it, but I will say that we reviewed all the properties. We did a lot of trail walk cleaning, and we also cleaned the Montview property from invasive species. Prominently, we also got a CPA grant to create a pollinator garden at Montview, and also to label the identified trees on the Montview property. Next year, we will have to, or this year, we will have to submit a management plan to the Conservation Commission to take care of the Montview property. In order to do that, we had the city naturalist, Laurie Sanders, review our property. She found everything in very good order, and she made some suggestions that we could do and some things we shouldn't do, and that will go into the new management plan for Montview property. At the last meeting, we also elected officers. All the officers and board members stayed the same. For 2026, we have an ambitious year. We're going to build a pollinator garden. We're going to attach metal tree IDs to the identified trees that were identified by the arborist at the Montview property. We're going to produce a new management plan for the Montview property and submit it to Conscom. We also have a trail cam that we've been using this year or last year. The trail cam was very active, and it was able to photograph horned owls. Today, this year, we're going to move the trail cam to a new location and see who's using our property. We also planning a bird walk in February. We're scheduling more work days, and we're very much interested in having people join our board. We're looking for people who have interest in conservation, and they can come to a board meeting, and all they need to do is just notify me, and we'll consider you as a board member. Any questions?
Wow. I mean, just a response. Emily has a question.
When are you gonna make the pollinator garden?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a date for when you're gonna make the pollinator garden?
No, we don't have a date, but it'll be this year. We already have the grant money, so it's just a matter of putting things into action.
Okay. Fine.
I do have one question. So you told us a lot of stuff that's really great. Is there any of this that you can write down and we can upload it on our web page for some of us who may not have been able to to hear everything? Is that at all possible?
Well,
know what to
actually, you've got it in the recording, and in fact, I've been watching it on the
It
camera.
is,
Transcript, okay.
okay, I
So, I
can't
mean,
see
it's
it,
in
but
the
okay.
Well, yeah, it's,
He's at home. Okay,
on the screen.
good enough. Thank you, Fred.
Thanks, Fred.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yep.
We just got a member right now. Here you go, Treasurer.
All right.
All right.
I'm doing my best to keep it frozen. Okay, so as you can see here, we still maintain the 305.69 in our checking. We had 197 still in our savings. We got a sense of interest on that, yes. For those who want to know, there was funds that were used for raised specifically for the signs that were put out in the two signs, the Budger board and the school sign that we raised for, and that's why that's in savings. So we just remember we always have that available. We did get a donation through PayPal for a new member, and our expenses were just the 21.22 for 2 months of our Google Meet account. So we have a balance of $512.03. And any questions or not? All right, cool. Good question. Individual is $10 annually. Family is $15, and lifetime, I believe, is $100. Yeah. And so, or yeah, but yeah. And people can join via PayPal on our website if they would like to make donations or what have you. But or either you can join either without paying or with paying. We're flexible. Right.
Actually, we have someone who was here for the first time and they wanted me to show them the Gary Budger sign. So I have an idea. I was like, there's two signs here. So maybe afterwards we can show them where they are. That's pretty good.
What? Monthly expenses are mostly just web hosting and the Google, like,
Yep, it's the Google Meet, put in our site. Gives us the access to record it and transcribe it and have multiple people logging in. So it's $10 and something a month. And so that 21.22 was about 2 months of it. Yeah. Great.
Next up, we have
Fred, I should have announced this before. Fred made me think of this. I'm sure a lot of folks know, but our ward is very popular right now because of the snowy owls in the meadows.
Yeah.
So folks, I get to walk my dog every day to the meadows, and I've seen people as far as New Hampshire, people come out from Boston, Connecticut. There's 3 snowy owls. If you drive by the airport and you keep it on your left and then you keep going on the road, you just look for all the cars. I mean, people are, oh yeah.
Yeah, they were there this afternoon.
You saw them in the staff. Yeah, I just saw them
Yeah,
this
they're
morning.
there
Yeah,
this
I walked by them.
afternoon.
They are white and they are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. So anyway, when you mentioned the owls, Fred, it made me think to say our ward, it was in the Boston Globe, and I haven't seen it in the Gazette yet. But anyway, I digress. Where's our agenda at?
local tenant organizations that are in our ward. So this is what we say. Do we have anybody in the house from Savo or Cahill? If you'd like to speak, you are guaranteed to speak every time at these monthly meetings, second Tuesday of every month. I think somebody said something about Cahill at one time. Did I not hear that?
Right. Feel free to shout out so that we can hear you in the room. The audio is not great in the room, but we can hear you guys. So yeah, Lisa.
Hi, I'm sorry, I can't see if there's anyone else from Cahill there.
Got anyone else from Cahill physically in the room? No, just you.
Okay, great. I'm happy to give a quick report. And I'm so glad you brought up owls, because owls are very much on the mind here. We just had a meeting And the Housing Authority has recently put down rat bait stations that are deadly to owls and hawks. When the rodents eat the raticide, and it's an anticoagulant, they then are eaten by the owls and hawks, which we have right behind my building here on Smith College land, and they die. And it's also dangerous for domestic animals and children. And we weren't given any notice of this. We weren't told what was in it. We had to call the company ourselves. So, and I had mentioned to Lindy Savadosa's office that I would love to see a ban on these poisons statewide on housing authority properties. But this is something that we're working on right now, that we're trying to get these picked up and taken off our property. Fred, do you have a question?
No, I just wanted to make a comment. If you look around at some of the commercial buildings in town, they have these rat traps. I'm sure they've got the same type of poison. So it's not only, the housing authority that has them. I mean, they're all over the place. If you look carefully, in fact, if you go into Stop and Shop, look to the left or to right of the door, and you see these rat traps.
It's not a trap. It's a bait station. It's a poison.
It's a bait station, but it's
a bait station. And if there are different types of bait that can be used. I'm working with the Audubon Society. And if it's the SGAR, which is the bad one, which is what we're using, or there are alternatives to that are not dangerous to the animals. So this is something we'd like to work on. But in the meantime, we're trying to get this poison off of the property. We still don't have recognition from the Housing Authority. We're hoping that's going to happen this month. And yeah, we have 2 more meetings with the members this month as well. So that's an update from Cahill. We have a grievance filed on mold, and we're hoping to meet soon with the executive director on the mold issue.
I didn't hear all of that. On the mold. All right, and there's something that's gonna be happening at Cahill with Northampton Neighbors on January 29th.
Yeah,
You're having
absolutely.
refurbished laptops.
Yep, I'm one of the tech support people for that. And we are going to have 8 or 9 laptops brought from Northampton Neighbors. And the tech team, which I'm part of, will work one-on-one with people to get the laptops set up. And we're hoping for a really successful event.
Okay. All right, thanks, Cahill. Is there anybody at Salvo House in the house online with? We have a local tenants member. Do you have anything to say?
Not much. I mean, I'm not the secretary anymore. I resigned. Meals. But yeah, I don't know. I know that they moved the mailboxes where we get the big packages into the carriage room, and I guess they're going to be putting up shelves. And a lot of tenants I've heard are not happy about it because there wasn't a vote taken about it. And also they're concerned about a camera not being in there. So they really would like a camera in there. And my concern was also, and I brought this up when I was on the LTO, because it's a very tiny room and it's going to be a multi-use for recycling, carriages, and now mailboxes. It's going to be an issue for people in wheelchairs getting access because people just throw the carriages in there. I heard that there is going to be some kind of metal thing to direct the carriages, but that doesn't guarantee people aren't going to be lazy and just toss it in and not pay attention to the bar that I guess they're going to put up to direct the carriages, keep it tidy. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to see a free storage in there, sometimes we throw out things we don't want, but they're still usable and they don't need to be in the trash. We have shelves for that there too. So, but yeah, that's the only new thing I know about. So,
Well, there is going to be and Sarah can talk to that with Northampton Neighbors, there's going to be a Valentine's Day potluck, isn't that?
Yeah. Yes,
You were in communication with that?
I am, yes.
And,
I don't know anything more though.
okay, I saw a sign up today. It's usually by phone calls, emails and text stuff. Sometimes it's a little late in getting that to certain people, but I did see the sign up and I think what's Valentine on Saturday?
Saturday.
So that's going up, so, and then I think that they're gonna generously. donate.
Okay.
Hey, I ate it, okay, all right, so, anyway, okay, moving right along, next up is our newly appointed, elected city council of Ward 3, Lori Lizelle, and we're gonna have a couple of remarks from her, 3 to 5 minutes, if you don't mind, please.
Hi, everybody. Glad to be here. I guess I'll just update you. We were inaugurated a week ago. We had our organizational meeting later that afternoon. Rachel Maori is president. Deb Clemmer is vice president. And then we subsequently got our committee assignments. I'm going to be on legislative matters and a committee called Community Resources. I have been meeting with department heads. I've met with planning director, the DPW director, I've spoken on the phone with the police chief and the director of dispatch, just getting to know all the plans. I have a newsletter that I'm sending out. If anybody wants to be on the newsletter, you can email me and I'll add you. It's loisel@northamptonma.gov. And I'm happy to share my phone, but I'm not going to do it on this recording, but I'm happy to give anybody my phone number. I have been getting emails from people in the ward, mostly about traffic. That seems to be the thing most people want to talk about, and is going to be something I would pay attention to. I think that's all I have to say.
Well, okay, we have some questions. Then,
Yeah.
but I would like to say, I thank you for being here and I hope to see you every month.
Yes.
Oh, that wasn't your contract, didn't they? You swore to
I'm
that?
happy
Yes,
to
thank
come
you.
every.
Heard you swear to that. Emily has a question.
so I've been thinking about this, and people shoveling their sidewalks is an issue. So if there's somebody that, like a home that is ongoing not shoveling, what do we do?
Are you talking about Elizabeth Street by the kids?
No,
Okay.
but
So is
there are people on the street.
Yeah, it just-
But you know, no, I'm talking about the street. There's a certain house that I don't know if they know that they can be shovel.
well, I would say the police have these little cards that
Yeah.
they give to people. They have their approach is to, work with the homeowner. You know, if it's a landlord or a homeowner or
I think it's a home.
so, so,
Maybe call the police.
well, you can do that, or I could also, you could do that and ask them to give the homeowner a card. It's just, they just remind people of what the ordinance is, what their responsibilities are. I've also been talking to people about working with Northampton neighbors. And trying to see if we can get help for people who are having a hard time shoveling their walks. So,
Yeah.
It is a, I can think of it, but eventually there is a fine if they don't do it within a certain amount of notice.
yes, but the police try not to.
Right, no, they get, but they want to, but there eventually is consequences.
Yeah, but the feeling is that that's not going to be. Have me buying, and I think better to be proactive and proactive with how much. Sure.
Yeah. Fun fact, if you don't shovel your sidewalk, you won't get mail.
You won't get mail.
Yeah, who would want to walk there and fall?
Right.
So,
Any other questions?
Well, can you tell me when your city council meets every month? I know there's the.
Well, our second meeting is Thursday. Also, I will have office hours, but I haven't yet worked it out. So I'll keep you all posted when I'm, office hours, we be at City Hall.
Aside from traffic, which is things that are an issue that the constituents are bringing up, do you have issues for yourself that you're like, this is what I'm passionate about or want to?
I'd like to work on, well, I'm interested in working on a overdose prevention site in Hampton. Maybe Rex Sabados can talk about that. I know she's talked about that in the past. But there isn't any such site in the state.
Right, yeah.
I think we're getting to good time.
Mm.
So that's one thing.
And by risk prevention, or you mean like people could come and use and be like supervised or have. medical
It's a sort of
support.
a medical setting.
Right.
People around.
Right.
It's, meeting people where they are at. There's lots of studies that show that people who use overdose prevention sites are more likely to get into recovery, but there's not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there will be.
Ron, you have a question?
Yeah, was subcommittees set?
Yes, I'm on legislative matters and community research.
Gotcha.
Anybody out there in cyberspace? Any questions you have? Okay, well, thank you for that.
Wait, I couldn't hear the committees at all.
Oh, could you say the committees again?
I can't hear anything now.
Can't hear anything now.
I can hear Ronnie very well.
Okay, so.
Can you hear me
No,
You can't
okay.
even hear loud people? No?
We can hear you, Jada,
I can hear you, Jada.
and I can hear Ronnie, but I could, Lori cut out a little bit for some reason.
Legislative matters and community resources.
So legislative matters and community resources.
I mean, that just means what I'll be working on, but I'm, probably going to go to other committees when needed for Ward 3 matters. So, yeah. I just won't have a vote on those, but I'll work with the council a lot.
Okay.
That's it for me for now.
Okay, all right.
Questions on the website, on the Massachusetts website. You can look to see under sidewalks, under stone and ice, under public works, there is an area that you can report, sidewalk each other agreed to. But there are reports.
Oh, thanks for telling us that. I should have known that.
Well, now you did.
Yes,
You want to tell us your great name again?
Hi, I'm new.
Thank you. Welcome. Very considerate.
You got now, Jada.
Oh, yeah, sure. Next we have our elected officials. And Garrett Perry is on his way here, but we have a number of people here and one person who isn't here. But before we all do this, we have somebody pretty awesome in the audience, and I would like to embarrass her. If Julie could come up here, please. Yeah, you.
Can you?
I called her. Is it Julie? Because I called her Julie, and I'm sorry. Your aunt. So if you could just come in and say a couple of words here, and I want to thank you for having a very well run campaign. I got to know you very well. You spend so much time at Savo House helping picking up trash, and I owe you a special gratitude. You inspired a resident to start the Clean Up Savo, and it was always wonderful to see you.
Yes, and I live here in Ward 3. I'm right on Bridge. Oh, yes, that's why I'm here.
Not Bridge Street, on Grays Avenue, which I always laugh that my son's gonna come to Bridge Street in September. But he will not be taking the bus, which he is looking forward to, so I've not told him. And yes, he just turned off last week. So-
He came and cleaned up too.
Yes, he comes too. He's very, proactive. He likes the little things that and likes to find glass, which we don't find a ton of, which we're really lucky for. But yeah, so I've been here in Northampton. I ran for mayor, but I am not the mayor, and I'm very happy to support whatever is happening moving forward. I'm very happy about Lori herself. We've had a few conversations, so thank you for representing Ward 3. And I'm here with Meg Robbins, who is going to be an at-large counselor, and I'm very much looking forward to all the ways we can, continue to show up for our community and show up for the things that matter. And, I'm working with Alex on things we can do in the winter that are not outside of Saba House that need to be done. So yeah, so I'm just here to be a part of whatever is going on. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for Jada for the special introduction. I'm going to go back to my set. So
Oh, and I just also, one of the first people who I didn't know, I tried the official, city council address, and they were right there, and that is Robbie. And so I want to thank you. If you can please introduce yourself.
Yes, thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Meg Robbins. I am at large, so I work with Lori, and I was on the school committee. I'm also on school committee reconsolidation committee, which is actually really supposed to be titled Reconsolidation and Mitigation of Student Loss Committee, which Bridge Street School comes up a lot in those conversations. So staying close to the folks who use this wonderful building and want it to continue to exist is a pretty integral and important part of that conversation. I'm pretty excited about being your at-large counselor. I just came from a meeting with Ward 6, and it was a hot meeting. People talking about developments that are going in. I don't know if you know, there's a big one going in on the East Hampton line. Is the developer going to put in 40 houses or 30 houses that are supposed to be there? What's going to happen with traffic? People who were there had great ideas about how to work with the traffic on Glendale Road. They live there. They know what it's like to live in a place that's already challenged by an existing condition and what they think might really help alleviate that. What's the bridge to making that happen? Working with your city councilors and working with the city to make that happen. And that's really the heart of what I want to do as your representative, which is to bring public voice and public wisdom and public input into the decisions that we make as city representatives, so that we talk to you first. We consult with you about what folks are thinking, about what needs to be done and the way it's going to be done. Come back and we talk again. Go to where you are. So there's some people here in this room. There are some people here. A lot of Ward 3 isn't here. So making sure that we use your resources to be able to touch base through Lori with the rest of the folks who live in your ward about decisions that impact you, and maybe sort of changing the way we have those conversations. My office hours are, my first one is February 4th at Bombix, and you're all invited. It starts at 5:45 if you want a slice of pizza. And so far I can only afford a slice. So, and at 6:30, we will have what I hope will be the beginning of having some really engaging ways of working together about recognizing where we have common interests, where we have challenges, where things are working well, and how we can coordinate and work together as a community to come up with some resources and ideas for moving us forward as the city of Northampton, which we're all very proud of. And I am also on committees. I am on the finance committee, which is one of my key areas of interest. I'm really have always been interested in budgetary issues and working with what are possibilities and what are reaches and what are needs and what are wants, and representing what people see as your essential priorities in our city. And I'm also on city. So you're on city resources.
Community resources.
Community versus, I'm on city services, right? Too many cities.
And city services, I'm hoping will be sort of newly invented as a way to really be able to say, so, how are city services working? You know, so when you need stuff, are you getting what you need? Are city services functioning at the level that you want them to be? Are they expanding to what growing needs of our community and our changing community need as we move along? So lots of input needed on what that might look like in the future. And that's me. I have lived in my time in Northampton, which has spanned more than half a century. I have lived in Ward 1, Ward 2, and Ward 4, but I have yet to make it to Ward 3. It could still happen. I'm trying to cover as many as I possibly can. So thanks.
Thank you.
Any questions? Concerns, things you want to yell at?
Not yell at, when you do city services, that's when you approve or disapprove people going to certain boards. Is that correct?
That is one small part of it. I'm really curious about the way that it works because city services so far seems to be, has anyone ever served on a committee in the city? Yeah. Okay, so this is an application, right? And the application goes to the mayor's office. And then some of those applications come to city services to approve or not. I think they mostly get approved. So you interview and then approve. I'm really curious about what happens to the applications that don't come to city services or people who have an interest in being on a committee. And I guess your application is supposed to stay live for 2 years, but I don't know where it stays live. So those are questions people have asked, and I'm hoping to find some answers to that. Because I think it's incredibly important to have the committees serve our city representative.
I agree.
And that means not everybody's an expert. It means you're pretty good at hearing and thinking about what you're hearing and thinking and giving that. Any other questions? Anything you want to tell me?
Well, I hope the message goes out for more people to join. I know that than myself, when I got on one board, I think the mayor put out a call. I would never have thought about that. So when you're thinking represent everyone, I think a little thought into trying to get people who normally wouldn't think they're part of the city or that their voices matter. So I'm excited for that. So I think that from what I know, from what people say, they stayed, it felt like in purgatory. Are they on or are they not on? And it would be nice if you say, you know, like jobbers, we're interviewing, we'll get back to you at this time. It would be something like that. So
That's very good input. That's exactly what we really need to hear. And it is awful, isn't it, to put in an application for something we care about and then maybe not hear from 2 years, you know, or maybe longer. So yeah.
Yeah, quick question. You said you're on the finance one. What is the budget timeline yet? Do you guys know? I guess, do you guys know what the budget timeline is?
City council. First reading.
We can't hear you.
7 budget. So
You couldn't, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Ronnie.
You can't hear Meg?
No, she went quiet. All I see is lips moving.
All right, want to shout. You couldn't hear what you were saying about January 29th.
Be the joint school committee and city council first reading of the FY27 budget by the mayor. Got that?
Yep, we got some heads.
Say it again?
Wait, no, yes.
Yes. Form.
fellow, what you call it, fellow at larger, is that a word? Okay, is here. I make it, I do that. So, Garrett Carey, he's the at large, going on your second or third term, is that right, Garrett? If you could just, no, he's in the air, he's in.
I am virtual for those folks.
We can't hear very well, we're having some little technical.
So Derek, if you could just use your loud voice. Our speakers, we can't find the volume button in for some
Okay.
reason.
I'll use my rap dad voice and
Great. We got you now. Thanks.
perfect. Thanks for being patient. I was coming from another meeting. To answer your question, Jada, this is my second term as at-large counselor, third as city councilor. My first term was as Ward 4 city councilor.
Well, that's more, we need more introduction than that.
Oh, I didn't know if it was my chance. So, hello, everyone. Thank you. I've had the pleasure of being at one of these meetings. I actually multiple times. But for those who don't know me, I am Garrick Perry, one of the current at-large counselors. I am looking forward to this new term. I came in near the end of Meg's discussion, and I believe she was talking about some of the committees she's serving on, and I like to just get to work. So I'm just going to trail off of what Meg said, because I have served on city services, and I really enjoyed it. One of the things I enjoyed was talking to citizens, people who want to get involved with our city. I think it's really important to highlight that. And to answer some questions, so there is a database that the city keeps for all people who have applied. I also served on the select committee to study barriers to service. And so some of the things that you had mentioned, Jada, had also come up in that, people feeling like they just were kind of in the ether. There are a number of suggestions that we put forward in our final report, which I'm hoping that maybe City Services takes up this term. I did not serve on it last term, but it is something that I would like sort of address, is being proactive in the way that we interact with folks. And so there's a number of things that I think could help to really bridge the gap between our citizens and our government. I personally am excited to once again be back on both legislative matters as well as community resources. I served as the vice chair on community resources last term, as well as vice chair on community resources. And community resources is another of my favorite committees, mostly because the umbrella that it has is very wide. I would say the same thing about city services. It has a very broad charge. And so one thing I'm looking forward to doing in community resources, again, is continuing to be very proactive, to provide spaces for our community to really engage, not only for people in the community to come ask questions and learn, but also to have organizations from our city and beyond to come talk about the work that they're doing. I've had the pleasure of having our representative Lindsay Sabadosa there. Every term I've served on community resources, we've had Senator Comerford come and speak about things. You know, we've also had the Division of Community Care, Health, and Human Services, and so I'm really excited for that. And I'm also really excited just to get to know the next group of folks that we'll be working with. It takes a lot for people to not only run for office, but then to kind of come together and see where change can be made and how best to represent our people. I don't know what other questions you have for me, but I'm willing to answer any questions or talk about some of the things I'm working on as well.
It's pretty thorough, guys. Anybody have any questions here in the audience and on the web? All right then, guys, thank you for that. Thank you for coming. I know your schedule is very busy, so I really do appreciate it. Moving right along, we have in the online, I know she's still here. Oh, there she is. Renika, our newly appointed school committee. Hey, Renika. So if you could just share a little bit about yourself and what's going on. It's good to see you.
Hi. So first, a brief introduction. My name is Renika Montgomery Tamaklo. I am, as Jada said, your newly appointed and sworn in Ward 3 school committee member. I live on Crosby Street, but I've lived in Ward 3 since 2014, and I really love it. We had our first meeting last Thursday. We elected our vice chair, Member Bartoli, and we talked about some rules and norms, and we've done some work for what we have. I know that someone brought up the budget. We do have our joint meeting at the end of the month. And then as far as the school committee is concerned, we have about 90 days to get the budget over to city council. So we will get our first look at it. We will talk about it in March, and April, we need to pretty much have it finalized. So that's just the general timeline. Let's see. I'm really interested in working on bringing the after school program that was voted into play to life at Bridge Street. I'm really excited about that. That's one of the things that I think that's going to be big for the families in the ward. And I'm also going to do a little digging into funding for Bridge Street, particularly around Title I monies and where those are going and waivers and things like that, and kind of bringing that back to, I think that should be under school committee's purview. So I haven't quite figured out the logistics of an email listserv or in-person meeting, so forgive me, but you have my email and you are more than welcome to email me at any time. I'm pretty responsive and I will give out my phone number too, no problem. So that's just a brief intro about me and what we're working on. We haven't gotten our committee appointments yet. So when that happens, I'll let you know. And just in general, this meeting is really hard for me to make because I have a standing meeting that I've had for years at this time. So most of the time my updates will probably be written in email, but I'll send them and make sure that Jada has them or whoever has them before the meeting. So just as a heads up.
Well, it's always great to see you. So thank you.
Can I ask a real quick question? Hey, Renika, it's Ronnie here.
Yes.
Somewhere on the screen. When you were mentioning about the services, downtown, there's been a big sign up about boys and girls, big brother, big sister, and how they're at Jackson Street and Ryan Road, I want to say. There's two schools, Bridge isn't one of them currently. From my understanding, there's a pilot going on. So just, I guess just to keep it on the radar, if there's a way to get that program at Bridge through, I don't know if the school committee's involved with it at all, but the sign says come have lunch, but it's a lunch buddy. So it's big brother, big sister lunch buddies. And it's at 2 of the elementary schools, not all 4 yet. So just hopefully if that can be expanded in the coming year.
Okay. Yeah, I just wrote that. I just made a note of that. So I'll look into that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh my God, this is so exciting. I do want to make
Thank you.
comments, and we have a speaker. We have 2 more people who are to speak, one for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then Representative Salvadosa, thank you for coming here on such short notice. She would like to speak, and then we're going to have someone. They're not going to take the whole 30 minutes, but we do allow that. But I can't believe it. Every elected official came here today. I'm so excited. Robbie? Robin or Robbie? What is it? Robbie. Okay, sorry. She wrote this beautiful statement, and I'll read it. I'm sorry I'm missing the opportunity to meet board members and hear tonight's speaker, Sarah Lennox. I thank Jada for extending the invitation. I'll offer a brief intro as I begin my term as one of your at-large school committee members. I've lived in Northampton my entire life, and I'm lucky to be in Ward 3 for just over a year now. I didn't know that. I attended our K-12 public schools, as did my 3 children. Early on, I was a copy editor of the Gazette, and then became a nurse where I worked with our senior population. The last 2 years as a certified end-of-life doula. What's a doula? Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm also a grandmother to Ari, who's 2, and Fiona, 1 month. The first public school in our country was launched in 1635 in Massachusetts. In 2026, it's all hands on deck to protect public education and our students and the invaluable link with healthy community. I'm ready to work with my fellow members to both remedy our issues and highlight and celebrate what makes our district special and unique. Even in the most challenging times, I believe caregivers want to choose public education. As I begin, here are a few things that I'm thinking about. Equitable local funding and bringing Northampton's strong voice to the State House to fight for long overdue fair funding for Western Mass public schools. Stay tuned for information on the March 30th Day of the Hill. Data-driven and data access curriculum and training that's consistent across our schools. Collaboration between our schools, within our community, and within surrounding districts. We all learn best when we look up and turn outward, ask questions, and listen to what's working. Informed decisions on smartphones and digital technology in our schools. I hope to see you out and about in Ward 3 and our greater community, or at a school function. If interested in being included on future newsletters, please let me know. Mail R. Sanders Sullivan at Northampton K12.us. Also easily found on northamptonschools.org. Reach out anytime. Thank you. So moving right along, we have a guest who's here in the audience. I know her very well. Well, I know her because I see her once a month. And that would be Patricia Patty Healy. She is the chair of the Northampton Housing Authority. And I've asked her to come and she graciously accepted to come speak about what's going on there.
Thanks, Judy. Yes, so I've been the chair of the Housing Authority for only 3 months. Wasn't expecting to be chair, so it's been really a huge learning curve for me. The last year was pretty difficult for Jada and I and the rest of the commission. We went through a very prolonged private investigation of some complaints in the Housing Authority. Our executive director resigned just a couple of weeks ago. We have completed some negotiations with her and we're on a new path. And I think that we've done the right thing. We have a very new commission as well. Our commissioners, we only have a couple of very experienced commissioners. Joelle is one of them, but we have 2 new ones. And one is, I think, was Jim Nash, one of your, yes, was here. He was an officer, right?
He was
Yeah.
president.
It's our president for our neighbors.
So also start next month, and he's a retired housing judge. He's also a former executive director of the Springfield Housing Authority, and so he brings probably all the sort of knowledge and experience that this housing authority and this commission really needs right now as we start up on our search. So the search for new executive directors could take under 6 months. It is heavily regulated by state law and by the state organization that governs all the housing authorities. We will likely hire an outside consultant. We have to discuss that in 2 weeks. And again, budget some significant amount of money to do that. And we want to do that because we're feeling pretty strongly that we need all the outside help that we can get. And we really need to do a broad search. I think people know that we need a very strong leader in the housing authority right now. Sharon Kimball's doing a fine job. She was the chief accounting officer. And Jada and I meet with her regularly, and she's doing the best she can. She's doing a good job. But I just want to remind people that most of these buildings in public housing in Massachusetts were built sometime between 1948 and 1965. We have not had funding from the federal government or the state to keep up with the demands. Thus, we have mold in one building. We've had sewage drop-offs. We've had very slow development of renovations in buildings. And that's largely because the funding sources are so difficult. The feds do one set of funding, and then the state does other. And the other thing is that in Massachusetts, there are only 4 states in the country that have public housing funded by the state. So we are very fortunate to have that, but then our state has to keep up with the housing. And so that's been, I think, a big challenge for the state, given right now all the demands of healthcare, which our state also funds very well compared to other states. So, so I'm hopeful. I think I can speak for the board that we are hopeful that we're on the right path to start addressing the very serious problems that our residents are facing right now. They've pretty much been on hold for quite a while. We have newly organized and older organized tenant organizations. That organization will really fill the gap, I think, in communication between the executive team and the housing authority and the residents. So I think that is very new right now, and for some of us, and we have to figure out ways to have better collaboration, communication, and shared goals, I think, in the organization. I'm hopeful that's going to happen. So that's my.
Should I say, Patty have initiated in our board meetings full time for a resident board member to speak. So I'm sure I've talked about Northampton neighbors. I've talked about the stuff that we've done here. So it's really great for the 2 worlds to kind of connect with each other, so.
And what plans for you too?
Thank you, guys. So, thank you very much, Ward 3 community. If you have any questions here and there, we're kind of, cognizant of time, but, you have questions, what is that? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Is that
My,
already?
my only question right now, Patty, is are you going to bring back a voice for tenants and residents with public comment?
Oh, public comment. Yeah, so very good question. I've been talking to other housing authorities about this. It's apparently unique to Northampton and only a few housing authorities. I am bringing it back next month. However, I'm also planning on bringing it to the commissioners to discuss how they would like to shape public comment, to make it useful for all parties. And I have some ideas about it, but I'd like to have a bigger conversation about it. But we will have it in 2 weeks. Yes.
I think that's great. And
May I just add, we will always have the LTOs, the LTO leaders be on the agenda, though. That is always a part of our agenda to have to continue that.
that is true. Actually, some of the trainings I've been through with Mass Nairo, one of the bedrock of this community is for public to speak. And I think that, thank you for reinstituting that. I think it also that it is a collaborative thing and not so one day one thing is happening and the next day it's cut off. I think it's important. People need to feel heard. And so thank you for this. I do appreciate it. Anybody else around here? Okay, well, thank you. And speaking along the same lines, next up, very short notice. Again, as I said, I want to thank Representative Lindsay Sabadosa for coming to speak about something that I heard about from her office and I don't know much about. So could you please speak to that?
Of course. I just want to check, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
And you're good in the room.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. I am sorry if I start coughing. I am on day 8 of getting over the flu. So please bear with me if my voice is not that strong, and I will try to be quick because I know that you still have some exciting parts of your agenda this evening. I am here to talk about an award that was made regarding broadband for the Walter Salvo property. And I want to back up and sort of set the stage as to how this award came about, because I think it's really important. It's only for Walter Salvo right now. The hope is that this will spread to all of the other housing authority properties in Northampton and across the state. But it's important to sort of understand what's happening. So this actually goes back to 2021 when Congress passed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, or the IIJA. And that legislation focused for the first time ever on how do we make sure that every corner of the United States has access to the internet, with a particular focus on public housing authorities. So through that program, they set up something that we've been calling BEAD. It's the Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program. And like I said, that bill was passed in 2021. Things take a little bit of time with the federal government, and they started planning how they were going to get that money out the door in 2023 and 2024. Now, it's a record amount of money. It's $42.45 billion to be spread across the United States. A huge amount of money, also probably not enough to accomplish all of the goals. But within that program, what they did was ask all of the states to identify every corner where there was not broadband access. So if there was a public housing authority that didn't have access in all of their buildings, if there was a house at the end of the road in West Hampton, which there is, that does not have access to broadband, really everything had to be drawn out on a map, and there had to be a plan for how the state was going to connect that particular location. So the culmination of a lot of work. Deployment for that program was set to happen in 2025. I am sure it is a surprise to no one listening that something huge changed between 2024 and 2025, which was a new administration came into office. That new administration has very different views about how this program should be run. So initially, the idea was fiber. We want everything to be wired, and we want people to have that sort of access. The Trump administration, being very good friends with Elon Musk, has shifted focus. So there's a lot more Starlink coverage, a lot more satellite coverage that is an acceptable solution for states. And so implementation of this program has been slowed because states have been trying to push back and say, for example, if you are trying to get internet out in Cummington or Chesterfield, satellite is not always the best option. It just doesn't work based on the landscape. And so we're trying to make sure that the program is still implemented in ways that are feasible. But in the biggest program for public housing within this is something that they're calling free apartment Wi-Fi. And it's the idea that they would put routers throughout the hallways in public housing, and they would they call it bleed into apartments. So there'd be routers located within all the buildings, and you, just by living in your apartment, would have access to that Wi-Fi, and it would include common areas as well. Northampton, a few years ago now, when we were collecting data, submitted an expression of interest for this program with support from the mayor and city government. So that application is still out there, but again, the amount of money that is available is a little bit limited for the amount of need that we have. But I just want to put that there because, again, we're going to talk about something else that has happened for Walter Salvo, but it is still in play that we can expand this to all of the housing authorities. This is a state implemented program, even though it is federally funded. And so that is, I think, going to be helpful in this work. What Walter Salvo has been awarded, though, is another pot of money that's being used through the Broadband Initiative. And this one comes from the U.S. Treasury's capital project. So important to remember, it's a capital project. It's not the operation of the program. So apartment Wi-Fi is internet that is available, accessible, and free. This is a little bit different. It's the residential retrofit program. It was an only $10 billion pot of money, but Massachusetts looked at all of the housing authorities that had put in applications for the apartment Wi-Fi and tried to figure out how they could divide up these billions of $10 billion in order to provide as much service as possible to locations that were most suitable to the program. So it's going to be done through a company, and it's called AirVivo. It is a $5.9 million award, and it's going to housing authorities, and I wrote them all down because I just want you to understand the scope of this: Boston, Lawrence, Holyoke, Falmouth, Fitchburg, Framingham, Newton, Natick, Gloucester, North Brookfield, Westport, and Walter Salvo in Northampton. And what it's going to offer is fiber grade Wi-Fi. It's going to be broadband. It's going to be income eligible with broadband packages up to 100 Mbps's. It will offer one device for every 4 units. It will offer free Wi-Fi in all community areas. There will be optional bulk service rates, and there will also be digital skills training, which if you follow my legislation, I am super passionate about technology and digital navigators and making sure that people don't just have the internet, but they know how to use the internet and use the internet safely. And so it's exciting that they're going to be doing some digital skills. So this is really early stages. I posted about that initial award. The company is sort of getting the parameters of what this program is going to look like. Absolutely, they're going to need to meet with the Northampton Housing Authority Board and your new executive director when one is selected to talk about all of the implementation. We don't have a timeline for it yet, but we know that this is the company that has the award. We know that this is coming to Walter Salvo, and we'll have, I think more details forthcoming. It is the Massachusetts Broadband Institute that is leading on this, so they're my contact, and if you do have additional questions, I'm happy to make sure that they're answered for you as information becomes more available. So it is a very early announcement, but I think a really exciting one, and one that I hope we will be able to replicate to all of the other properties, because internet is something that I am here talking to you by virtue of the internet this evening. We all really need. And because I have the floor for a second, I know that Northampton Neighbors is there, who are fabulous. And I know they do digital help. And Lisa, I heard you talking about how you do help. So that's wonderful. I just also want to call out Northampton Open Media, because they do weekly tech drop-ins, and I want to make sure everybody knows about it. They have some devices that they can lend out and hotspots, et cetera, and they're just a great resource for the community. So take advantage of them because they're free, and we want to keep that going. So happy to answer any questions. I know I just spoke at 1,000 miles a minute, but it's also 8:15. So again, happy to answer anything, and happy to come back.
Lori has one, Heidi has a question, and I do.
Okay, so my main question is, since this is like a shared broadband, from my understanding, what is the safety in term of like doing online banking, any kind of personal stuff where hacking could be an issue and somebody getting information?
So this one is not like it would still be a secure network. You'd still have to log into it. It wouldn't just be like,
An open network, yeah.
yeah. So like you still have your security. I mean, the goal of this is you're able to do your online banking, your doctor's appointments, all the things that you need. So it is still secure. But for the Walter Salvo property, these are also like income eligible packages. So you have like your open network in the common area, and then you have like your more secure networks in your apartments that would be password protected.
Lori?
Well, this is you about this grant. Mine's a different.
Oh, no, as Sabados had mentioned about Northampton Open Media, we cannot thank them enough. Al Williams and Hannah Cox, they are godsend. Hannah comes also to the local tenants organization, or Walter Salvo, once a month, first Wednesday of every month from 1 to 5.
Yep.
And we'll work with people individually. So it's really like that digital divide, guys, is really closing in on that. And then just recently, also from a grant somewhere else, started with Al Williams, we have a video conferencing, actually, that it was Jim and Jim Nash and the mayor, Sierra, who helped us get this video equipment. And part of that, we got installed 4 new desktop computers and 4 new tables. So with that now, I think it's just bringing people in there. They're supersonic fast, but now there are more people who are coming into the TV area. And so some of them are being really strict, like if you're going to be in here, better follow the rules. So I'm really happy about that. So I do want to thank, shout out to Northampton Open Media. So it's pretty amazing, because I personally think that Wi-Fi should be a public utility. It's, because I just know in meeting with Governor's Council, Tara Jacobs, she was saying when the pandemic hit, without people being able to communicate, it was really scary. So I'm excited by that. And we just have so much. We have this refurbished computer. I mean, it is just amazing. We have that from them. And then we have also, if they need help with that, in addition to Northampton Open Media, you have Nina Kleinberg of the tech department. So we have that here, and it's pretty exciting to see people being a part of what's going on in the world.
I have a quick related question before just real quick. Did you say a timeline for like installations and all that? I'm sorry if I missed it.
Nope, we don't have a timeline for installation yet. When I last checked in with MBI, they said it's forthcoming, but I did ask ahead of this meeting just to see if they had it yet, and they don't.
Thanks. And then
I wondered, I was at the protest on Sunday, and you mentioned some legislation. Could you repeat that here?
Regarding ICE, yeah, of course. I don't have the bill numbers on me, but the bills that I mentioned were the Safe Communities Act, Dignity, Not Deportations, and the Immigrant Legal Defense Fund. And I believe Indivisible Northampton put links to them on their action page as well.
What was the third one?
It's the Immigrant Legal Defense Fund.
Okay.
It's something that we actually do now, but we've only done it via the budget. So this bill would codify the creation of the fund, and of course then allow it to be continuously funded through different budget cycles. But we did an initial outlay in the last budget in FY26.
And what do you think is the likelihood of being able to have, a law passed that ICE agents can't wear masks?
It's a tricky question because our attorney general has, said it's incredibly difficult to enforce. But I think more states are moving in that direction. I think, we're trying to understand what the most effective things we can do are. New York just tonight, I saw Kathy Hochul, Governor Hochul rather, is talking about allowing for litigation against ICE officers. That could be something, opening up immunity. We have all options on the table right now, and we are trying to pull together a bill that will have broad consensus in the state. I think it's important to remember when we talk about these things, though, that there's, still like about 40% of the state that thinks what ICE is doing is really wonderful. And that does make it hard when you are trying to figure out how you can do something effective that will have support.
Thank you.
That's something you
I wonder if you have that information about broadband written down someplace, because
Of
I'd
course.
like to share it with people in Northampton neighbors.
I got it from her website and
Oh,
I sent it to you. I sent it to you.
Would you like me to write up what I said tonight and I could send it
Yes,
to
exactly.
Or I'll do that so that it's easier to get out.
Okay,
of course.
thank you. Thank you.
Not a problem.
From Lisa in the chat.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Will
It
it be,
It should be. I mean, that's the goal, for it to be like really, really, truly affordable, and really high speed. So, that is the goal, Lisa.
Okay, guys, you want,
Fred? Fred, you got a quick one for us? You
Yeah,
wanna
it's a
get
quick
over-
question, and basically what happens is, I've been watching the talking on the captions. So
Yes.
everything that Lindsay said is in the recording, and the question is, how do we get our hands on the recording?
Yep, it'll be posted on our website with a paper transcript and all of that, and we'll share it out to our listserv.
So when will it be up there?
If you can give me a week or a couple days, give me a couple days and I'll get it
Couple
up there.
days sounds great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Of course, thank you, everybody.
speaker here, we do technically end at 8:30. We started a little late. I'd like to give her the props that she deserves. And there you are. Actually, she was my prop.
Yes.
Professor.
And I have to say, Rachel Maori also graduated. Did you know this, David? Rachel Maori graduated from the program.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, so, I'm Sarah Lennox, as you know, because I'm on the agenda. Probably you all know what Northampton Neighbors is, but I'm gonna give you a little overview just the same. It's an organization that provides the services and social and cultural events, enabling seniors to stay in their own homes as they age, rather than moving to assisted living or nursing. Very early on, we decided that home means where you live. It doesn't mean that you bought a big old house someplace and you've lived there for 50 years. So living in an apartment, living in an NHA property, wherever you live, living in assisted living, if you live there, that's your home. Anyone of any age can join Northampton, living anywhere can join Northampton Neighbors. So I think many of you people are too young, but you could still join. But we only offer services to people who over 55 who live in Northampton, Florence, or Leeds. And what services means is basically all sorts of things. Probably more people need transportation than anything else, but there's all sorts of other things. We always say, just ask us and we'll see if we can find someone to help you. So it could be putting together your IKEA furniture. It could be hanging your pictures. We have a lot of demand for tech support. We have a wonderful tech team that will help you with your phone or your television or your computer or whatever. Mom's used your tech. Oh, good. She's happy. I think the tech team is really terrific. So, even, twice, Northampton Neighbors volunteers have put up my Christmas tree, which is, because I'm not big enough to do that. So, yeah, so the volunteers are really terrific. What we also, you probably know this, what we also decided, real early on, and this was at the initiative of Linda Desmond, who I've met a bunch of you know, who used to be director of the senior center. She said, many of these villages around the country, you know, charge $400 a year, $1,000 a year, $1,500 a year. She said, this is Northampton. We can't do this. It's got to be free. So it's free. So, and it's kind of amazing that we haven't been able to make it financially. So because, you know, a lot of people donate, people say, you know, when somebody, a volunteer does a service, people say, can we pay you? And they say, no. Donate it to Northampton Neighbors. So, you know, lots of little donations. It works.
And then the Doozy Doo Parade.
The Doozy Doo Parade, although, yeah, it doesn't make as much money as people think. It's a lot of work. So, if you have more questions, you can ask them at the end. But I've got a bunch of cards here, and you can take as many as you want if you want to pass them around. And they have the website address on there and the phone number. So, I was one of the founders of Northampton Neighbors. There was a group of us who started working on it, and I don't exactly remember, 2014 or 2015. We launched in November 2017, so we've been around 8+ years, and pretty amazingly, we now have, as of today, 2,232 members. Isn't that amazing? So, you know, it's kind of 10% of the city, so amazing. So when I got involved, I had 3 ambitions for Northampton Neighbors, and this is what took me to working with the NHA properties, or 3. First of all, I wanted it to be a community, and I even hoped that it could be a model as a community for other organizations in the city. I don't know whether that's happened or not, but, you know, and there's struggles, but, you know, I sure know a lot more people and feel connected to a lot more people than I did before this happened. Secondly, I wanted the demographic of Northampton Neighbors to be the same as the demography of the city. So as many rich people as there are in the city, as many struggling people as there are in the city, I wanted to be equal. And third of all, I wanted to be a cross-class organization. And somebody said to me recently that Northampton Neighbors is the only cross-class organization in the city. Now, I actually doubt that, because I bet the Ward 3 Neighborhood Association is a cross-class organization, and probably the churches are too. But I'm still proud that that person said that. So that's what the commitments that led us to. First, we called ourselves the Outreach Committee before the pandemic, and then we became the Inclusion Committee after the pandemic sort of interrupted everything. And that led us to working with the residents of the NHA property. So I'll tell you sort of how this came about. We had a couple false starts, and the first false start was the executive director and I would go to the NHA properties with refreshments, and we'd sort of sit there in hopes that people would come talk to us. And actually that worked pretty well in Salvo. And I remember a great event that Jim Nash gave. Actually, Jim Nash came to a bunch of the events, and it worked in Michael's house, but other places it was just the bus. We'd sit there and we'd eat the cookies and nobody stopped. So then the pandemic arrived and shut everything down. So after the pandemic, we started with a new strategy, and Jay was a big piece of that. In Salvo, we decided it would work a lot better to have a contact person in the residence who could sort of explain how things were working and, tell us who we need to talk to. And so Lisa Morales is the contact person in Cahill. So, so that's been really good. And the other thing we decided, and I think this is probably Jada's suggestion, is that we would go to Salvo when Grow Food Northampton distributed food on Thursday morning and food pantry. Yes, so and especially at Salvo, people stand around, they're talking to each other, and we brought coffee and munchkins, and they were really happy about that. So we were able to talk to a lot of people and get a lot of people to become Northampton Neighbors members and really, create connections with them. And that was, that's been just great. That's been really good. The problem with Grow Food is that it doesn't distribute food in the winter because it doesn't have food in the winter. I think the Survival Center still does. So we're sort of in a little transition period right now. We've been the LTO has been they meet every other month, and then the alternative month, first Monday, they have a social event. So they've had a couple potlucks, and we surprised them, provided the cake. And because that's what we do, provide the cake. We're not quite sure whether we're going to do that, or we may go back to coming on Thursday morning again when the Survival Center is there. So we don't exactly know how we're going to handle this. But in general, we're really happy at how, especially, we form bonds with people at Salvo, and we brought them into Northampton Neighbors, and I think that's just wonderful. The other thing that we've already been talking about, this is only kind of a little bit tangentially related to the Inclusion Committee, is the laptop distribution project. And one of my best friends, Nina Kleinberg, who is just an amazing human being, is the person who came up with this idea. And she created a tech team. And what she does is collect old laptops from individuals, but also from businesses, from the sheriff's office, from the school committee. Her tech team, what do they call that? Wipes them clean, and then reloads them with an operating program and with the operating system and the programs you need, and then give them to people who need.
Keeps them out of the landfill, guys.
Yes, it keeps them out of the landfill, but also, that's really important. But it's also really important that people who can't afford to pay for them themselves have them. And this is really part of overcoming the digital divide, because, if you don't have a way to get online, it doesn't matter if you have broadband and, you don't have a device that'll help you get online. So, we've had great distributions at Salvo and at Forsander, and as you've heard, Forsander's in Florence. And as you've heard, we're going to be at Cahill on January 29th. So I think it's been just a great program for people. And I imagine with the new broadband in Salvo, there's going to be a lot more people that are eager to get on board. And the Northampton Open Media is really wonderful, but our tech team will come in too and help people. So another initiative that's sort of in process is taking people to ethnic grocery stores. And we had one not totally successful thing in the place in which it wasn't expected, but we're thinking about maybe opening this us to all of Northampton Neighbors. There's a food interest group, things, and this would be another way to encourage inclusion and cross-class collaboration that everybody interested in ethnic grocery stores would go down to.
We went.
Yeah, we went. Right. And finally, we have participated in some great celebrations. So the Juneteenth celebration, I was sick, so I couldn't go, but I heard about it. and I heard they were great ribs, and we brought a cake. And I think the very best celebration was on Martin Luther King Day last year. There's a great meal prepared by the church ladies from one of the church of a member of our committee, and I arranged for the current director of the program that Rachel graduated from to come and talk about Martin Luther King, and he talked about King's commitment to justice for low-income people, which not a lot of people knew so much about. So I think that was really great, and it was really wonderful. And we're hoping he'll come back. Yeah, we're hoping he'll come back. Yeah, I've invited him already. He's been out of town, but
Sheriff, you do your work.
yes. So that's and what we're gonna put on this cake. We're gonna say the dream continues. So that's it. So I'm happy to answer questions if anybody has any, or and if you would like to become a member, I haven't submitted some applications, and if you would like to become a volunteer, and some volunteer applications, or you can do all that online. Yeah, I mean,
Can people that are younger than 55 plus volunteer?
absolutely. Oh, yes.
Looking for people?
Absolutely, because one thing, this probably isn't what you want to do, but people want their mattresses turned over. And so many, and a lot of them older people.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Yeah, so, and a lot of things, people.
Just like you were saying, little things like that. I have that honeydew. Yeah.
And so we would love to have you.
Okay. Yeah.
2,000 plus members. Do you have a number of like how many services you guys do a month, a year, or just like ballpark? Is there like? Go for it. Okay, cool. No worries.
It is for help. So
On the app that, Nextdoor. I've seen a lot of like posts on Nextdoor about
yeah, and there's a great.
talking about trouble that people are posting on Nextdoor.
So, if you don't mind getting a certain volume of email, just sign up, it's free, and, you find out a lot about what's going on in the city and what people's interests are. It might be interesting for you, or are you? Yeah, I would expect no less.
Also with the refurbished computer, a lot of people think this is just for public housing. This is a school, and people and families, you can get that too. If they have to contact me, because the tech person is really techy and all these, but I'll facilitate that if I can.
Right.
I was the contact person at Savo House. It's just so you can say this many people, and right now, sometimes she'll do it individually. Like right now, someone needed it 2 months ago at Savo House. They just moved in there. But what she's talking about that happened also, when looking in the paper last year, is that we had whole tech team come to the buildings and everybody was busy with curbside. So
that's what's going to happen.
that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But anybody, a child, family, in Griffin, please let us know.
Yes.
I just checked out your site. It's pretty, you mentioned it wasn't as many as you would think, but this sounds like an amazing number. At least 23, in the year 23-24, there were 848 services provided. I mean, it's an amazing number for sure. It's so cool to hear.
Please.
Yeah, I think Eric has a question. Was there a hand or something, or are you saying bye or? All right. You're on mute. You're on mute.
And now I'm unmuted. Am I unmuted?
There you go.
I always have questions. That's my thing. First of all, Sarah, thank you for this presentation. We've known each other. I've worked with Northampton Neighbors, and I often tell people how just blessed we are to have such a resource of connecting people. Community is really important. And so thank you. Thank you for starting things like the Doozy Do. I tell folks all the time that people are our greatest resource, and you are living it, and this Northampton Neighbors really exemplifies it. Two things. One is I'm intrigued about this taking people to ethnic food stores. For me, it hits close to my heart because I've worked in restaurants most of my life. So I'm wondering if we could maybe pair some of that with local chefs or folks to teach things about it. But my real question was, how are you transporting folks? If someone wants to go,
Volunteers, yeah.
so you guys are you're using your own cars to do that. Okay. I'd love to see ways to transport people in other ways. So maybe we can talk outside of this about that, because I have some ideas.
Cool. Excellent.
And making each of these kind of events more event-like. And the second thing is, you talked about the Juneteenth celebration that was had, and Jada knows this, but I'm working with the Youth Commission to help create an official Juneteenth celebration. And I bring this up because while Northampton Neighbors is specifically for people of a certain age, I really love the idea of bringing the youth and our elders and sharing knowledge and experience. So maybe that's something that we could have you come, or someone from Northampton Neighbors talk with the Youth Commission subcommittee about is ways to support our youth in creating these cultural events.
And you know who else would be really interested is the Ruggles Center. Because I'm on their board, and that they really wanted to, I mean, they are doing something for MLK Day, but not, I mean, they're just opening the museum. So they would be really eager to work with young people too. So.
And the final part of that question about the Youth Commission is, are there ways for, I think Heidi asked this question, it's hard to see who or hear who's asking, but if folks from the, not only Northampton High School, but Smith Voc or other local institutions wanted to kind of volunteer, are there ways for them to easily contact and get involved with things with you guys? Where should I direct them?
I just talk to me. And I'll pass it on, so. After 8. But yes, but not until afternoon, yes.
Oh, okay.
And Garrett, what I was thinking at this wonderful meeting, we ought to have a word for neighborhood association.
I agree.
Yeah.
I have an idea, or putting it out there to people around finding volunteers, is that if there are individuals who are just starting out, like with a fix-it, business, or this, of course you're doing your services for free, but there was an individual, my mother-in-law, well, we're all members of the thing, but my mother-in-law is very active when she's up in this neck of the woods, and she heard about someone who was a volunteer through Northampton Neighbors who's really great, and we've hired him many times now.
It's maybe Stan the Fix It.
No, it's not Stan. I've worked with Stan many times, and he's told me each time, I'm retired, stop asking. Yeah. But no, it wasn't Stan. His name is Eric. I can't think of his last name, but anyway, it's just another, like, if people are like, how would I get people to know about what I do? It's like, you guys are a great community for that.
Wow, guys. Well,
This is great.
This is great.
Thank you. And at this time, I think it is the end of our meeting. Thanks for everybody for your patience. And I'll see y'all next month. We also have another speaker too. And so thank you, everybody. This was great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
thanks for working it.
Yes.
Yes, well, we're. Someone wants to do. I don't know, I'm wondering, I chatted. Yeah.